I have here, I'd be happy to send this over to you, a 2015 publication from the WHO, World Health Organization, where they issued the new guidelines.
Oh my God. The World Health Organization.
And it
You're
wasn't
such
just,
a tool.
okay, the Joker laugh isn't helping your argument here, okay? Basically what happened was I decided to make a little joke on Twitter. This is how you know shit's about to get good, okay? So the Post Millennial, it's a shit, absolute shit publication, ran by Andy No and all those other cucks. Blair White is on here. And they got really upset because apparently it was revealed that at one point in a private text message, Hunter Biden, the Biden that's not president, once said something in a text that could have sounded a little bit like an Asian slur. Meanwhile, the post-millennial has repeatedly condemned any form of dispute over the phrase China virus, which we already know the China virus contributed. Well, let me rephrase that. We already know that calling this virus the China virus led to an uptick in hate crimes against Asian people. It's gross, it's disgusting, but names of viruses have consequences. And I got into a little beef. Let me find the reply here. Let's see. China virus isn't a slur. It's literally the truth as it came from China. And I said, that's not even how we classify diseases. Secondly, it doesn't have to be a slur when that phrase has a correlation with rising anti-Asian hate crimes. So I'm hoping that this guy jumps on. Oh, looks like he's here. Cool. What's up, man? How you doing?
Oh, I'm actually doing great. I recently graduated.
Great, congrats. So you're kind of hold on one second. You're not on the stream yet, so 1 second.
What?
All right, can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You said you recently graduated, so you must be pretty young then, huh?
Yeah, I'm 19.
19. Okay, wow. So just to be clear, is this you on Twitter, average Twitter user?
No, I got deleted from Twitter a while ago.
Okay, are you okay if I put you on screen since you have yourself on screen?
Sorry, what?
Are you okay if I put you on screen?
Sure.
Okay, cool. So you posted my tweet where I say that's not even how we classify diseases. Secondly, it doesn't have to be a slur when that phrase has a correlation to rising anti-Asian hate crimes.
But then it's not a slur, though.
So are you agreeing then that I'm correct when I say that's not how we classify diseases?
What are you even saying? Are you saying that it's hateful to say China virus?
I'm saying that calling it the China virus doesn't make any sense because that's not how we classify diseases.
Is there anything wrong with calling it the China virus?
Yes.
Explain.
Sure. So one, that's not actually how we classify diseases. I have here, I'd be happy to send this over to you, a 2015 publication from the WHO, World Health Organization, where they issued the new guidelines.
Oh my God. The fucking World Health Organization.
And it wasn't
such a fucking tool.
Okay, the Joker laugh isn't helping your argument here, okay? So WHO has already issued new guidelines in 2015 on the best practices for naming new diseases. And the reason for this, it's very clear in this article and it's clear throughout history, that the reason we're cautious with the way that we name diseases is because depending on how you name a disease, it can have significant real life consequences. So for example, Ebola, we all are familiar with that disease, right?
Yeah.
That was named after Ebola River in the 1970s, despite the fact that the disease actually originated in a different village. The reason it was given a different name was because the person who discovered the virus didn't want it to be associated with that village and negatively harm them with stereotypes and whatnot. we've recognized already that depending on how we name diseases, it can have real life consequences. So not only does it not even make sense, it's not how we classify diseases
Right.
anymore, but it
I have one
leads,
question.
yeah, one more thing. But it also
Okay.
leads, it's been shown to have a correlation with rising anti-Asian hate crimes as well. So go ahead.
All right. So I know. Okay. What I'm about to say is that I know the Spanish flu did not come from Spain. It came from Italian soldiers during World War One. Right.
I'd actually listen. I don't know the like origin
Right.
of every name from every disease.
And
We did used to
do
name
call it the Spanish flu, even though it came from Italy. So maybe it came from like we could call it the. What did you think we call the Spanish flu?
I don't know, and I don't care because we're talking
And
about
why?
COVID-19
Is it hate
specifically.
towards Spanish people to say Spanish flu?
No, not necessarily, but it probably isn't great. And I'm sure we can look and see how other negative names associated with diseases have had negative outcomes for that group or that location as well. That's, again, the reason why they didn't want to name the Ebola disease after the actual village where it was found.
Yeah.
We already
Yeah,
recognize this as far
Whenever I
back as the
said Ebola,
1970s.
whenever we said Ebola, we never had anything hateful towards anyone in Africa or anything. It was never anything like that.
This is okay. This is a pivot. China virus is directly impugning China and Chinese
the
individuals.
Chinese government, the government that's committing a Holocaust against the Uyghurs.
I agree with that. Yes, China's bad, but we don't need to call it the China virus because that, one, doesn't make sense, and two, leads to negative outcomes for
I don't
Asian
care
Americans.
about the Chinese people. I care about what their government is doing.
No. I'm talking about China. I'm talking about Asian Americans, my dude.
Well, I don't care. I don't hate Asian Americans. I've never met anyone that hates any Asian
I'm not
Americans.
asking if you hate them. I'm saying that by calling it the China virus or the Chinese virus, which Trump actually specifically said Chinese virus. He didn't even say China virus, which could at least be argued that was a location.
No, I'm pretty sure I've heard him say China virus
He
way
said
more times.
both. He said
Chinese.
both. But either
Well, he
way,
said China virus way
either
more
way,
than China.
I have a study here that I can send.
I mean,
you
it's
that
not
show-
really that big of a difference.
Okay, yeah, you're right. It's not. It leads to harm either way. So we probably shouldn't
bullshit.
use China virus or Chinese virus. I can send you here this study which showed how this tweet helped lead to rise in racist anti-Asian Twitter content alone. We know that the president can influence people's behavior. If I'm not mistaken, I think even in the 1990s when Bill Clinton was exposed for getting head from Monica Lewinsky, we saw affairs rise because the president sets an example. This is obvious. Like, don't you agree? Like, I assume you're a Trump supporter? Don't you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah, so don't you agree that
I'm
Trump's
a
like...
libertarian nationalist.
So do you think that Trump is like a good president? Do you think he's powerful? Do you think he has any influence?
Well, when I was young, I felt like he was the first person to like ever talk about the things I cared about, like the border, the economy, and all that stuff. You know.
Why do
He
you, a
kind of inspired
19-year-old
me.
kid, care about the border?
Because, man, I love my country. I'm a nationalist, and I care about our people, man. You care about our people? I know you do, but
Yeah,
I
I
don't
care
know.
about people that are Americans, whether they come here
Yeah, I
via
do. We both
immigration or whether
do.
they whether they're born here. What's the distinction here?
Sorry, I didn't hear you. Like, there was some.
I said, yeah, I care about Americans, whether they immigrated here or whether they were born here. They're both
Yeah,
Americans.
well, I'm not talking about immigrants. I'm talking about illegal immigrants. But I kind of do want to. Actually, you know what? We should talk about something. Let's go back on track.
Yeah, you're right. Let's get back on track to this. So, do you recognize then that it doesn't make sense to call it the Chinese virus and that it also leads to real societal harm? So therefore, calling it the China virus or the Chinese virus just makes no sense.
I disagree.
Okay, why?
Well, because whenever I hear someone say China virus, I've never heard them do it in any hateful way. I've never heard them do anything that was wrong in any way. It was just normal. It was just saying China virus.
Okay,
that
well,
came
I
from
have a
China.
friend, but I have a friend that uses it racist. So should we not say it then?
Well, look, it depends. Well, if it's the way they're saying it, then I guess it's wrong. But just because you say China virus doesn't mean you're inciting anything. It doesn't.
I didn't even say that it did. I'm
Yeah,
saying
you kind of.
I'm saying that it, one, doesn't make sense from a technical standpoint on how we actually define and name diseases since 2015.
That's where it came from.
Well, that's not how we define the disease. Where it came from is irrelevant.
No, I
Let's
feel
go
like
back
it's.
to the
I
basics
mean,
here
that's
because
because
we
we're
need to look
calling
at
it
this first.
something where it came from. I mean, it's that simple.
No, that's not how we
Yeah, it
name
is.
diseases any longer.
Uh, what do you mean any longer? What the fuck are you
We
even
did.
talking?
There were times where we named diseases, sometimes
And
based
why
on the
can't we not
location
do
where it
that
originated.
now?
Because
What's the difference between now
we're
and then?
more advanced. We've evolved past that. Maybe we've recognized that it leads to harm. So
So you
there are
drink the Kool-Aid? Is that what you're saying? You're
so
a blue
there are
pillar?
wait. There are better ways to define diseases now. We don't have to define it based on where it came from. I'm trying to find here while I also am talking to you on. Hold on. The
What?
best practices state that a disease name should consist of generic descriptive terms based on the symptoms that the disease causes, and more specific descriptive terms when robust information is available on how the disease manifests, who it affects, its severity, or seasonality.
Well,
And look, they
I
even
really,
actually say we should avoid things like the Spanish flu right here, because I think you brought that up earlier.
I've never. That's
They even
bullshit, man.
say, but they're literally saying you should also avoid using terms like the Spanish flu because we have better ways of defining diseases now. It's weird. It doesn't make sense that you wouldn't just kind of concede this. Like,
Look, I don't believe that, man. I don't think Spanish flu is wrong. I don't think China virus is wrong.
But
I don't even think
why?
Chinese virus is wrong
but
because
why?
it's not. It's not anything towards Chinese people. It's towards
It doesn't
China.
matter what you say. We see
It
an
doesn't matter.
uptick in
By that logic, it
anti-Asian
doesn't matter
sentiments.
what you say. You're speaking on behalf of Chinese people.
No, I'm not. I'm speaking
Yeah,
on
you
behalf
are.
of Asian Americans.
Yeah, you're
The
speaking
study
out.
indicated a difference in anti-Asian sentiment
Well,
when using neutral
I was saying
hashtags.
China virus, an attack on all Asian Americans. That doesn't
Hold
make
on.
sense.
Here's an interesting study, actually, that completely disproves what you were just saying. This study indicated a difference in anti-Asian sentiment when using neutral hashtags such
What
as
study is
COVID-19 versus racist hashtags like
Because I
Chinese
actually do
virus.
not believe your studies. I mean, you were on Tim Pool and he kind of owned you. Like he said, I don't want to see a video. I want to see the article. Yeah, I don't trust your studies.
Okay, well, I'll go ahead and send this to you. Seems pretty easy for you to go ahead and just ignore stuff when it hurts your feelings, but
Well, guess what? You know what else, Hunter? Why aren't you debating actual Justice Warrior, Nick Vignettes, or John Doyle? I mean, you backed out on all three of them, but you're debating their fans.
So are you
Why are
pivoting
you
now?
debating me and not
Hold
them?
on. One, I'm not debating their fans. Someone came on to talk to me during the AMA who happened to be the fan. Okay?
Yeah.
Second of all, I've explained why I'm not debating them yet. Third of all, this is a pivot and irrelevant. So let's get back to the point.
Fine. Okay. What was the point again?
So we're trying to just establish that
Yeah.
when we use terms like the Chinese virus, it's correlated with an uptick in hate crimes directed at Asian Americans.
And what if an Asian person says it?
Then it would still be bad. It's reinforcing ideas that are harmful or could lead to like implicit bias. What do you mean? What if an
Let's-
Asian person says
Well,
it?
they say
These are cartoonishly stupid
just-
arguments, dude. I don't think.
they're just as capable of saying it. They say it just as much as white people do.
But that doesn't mean anything. That's so what?
Well, then, what are you
You're
even
not making-
talking
because
anymore?
you're
It's
not-
like,
you've
oh,
recognized
saying
right
China
now-
virus is going to cause violence. It's going to cause violence. What the fuck are you even talking about?
Yes, I'm talking about that. There is literal proof
Yeah.
that even
You wanna know
COVID,
it's
just
not by
COVID
white
alone,
supremacists,
being
it's
a
from the blacks.
you realize that one, that's not true actually on a statistical
Yeah, that's
level.
true.
One,
Absolutely.
that's not true on a
absolutely
statistical
true.
level. Two, we can see how COVID-19 has played a role in fueling like Asian racism and xenophobia around the world. Okay, this is not just the blacks. And even if it was black people, it doesn't matter. The president and his language can still have consequences on how people behave. There's no reason why someone who's black couldn't hear the president repeating Chinese virus and use that to reinforce an idea that they may already hold that Chinese people are gross or dirty or should be beat up.
Since
You're
when
not
has
making
Trump ever
any
said that-
arguments right now.
When has Trump ever said that they're gross, dirty, and should be beat up?
I
When?
didn't say Trump said that.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
saying
you're
when
saying-
Trump called it
Saying
the
China
Chinese
virus
virus,
does not
it
incite
could
that. That's bullshit.
it could
Come on.
reinforce biases that people already have.
No, reinforce.
I'm explaining a
biases.
really simple hypothetical to you right now.
That's ridiculous.
All right. So even the FBI warned at the start of the COVID outbreak in the US that it expected a surge in hate crimes against those of Asian descent. So this was just with it being known that it came from China. This isn't even factoring in the fact that the president of the United States repeatedly called it the Chinese virus, despite the fact that the actual name was COVID-19, it didn't make sense to call it the Chinese virus based on how
It does
we know.
because it came from China.
That's irrelevant, my dude.
Yeah, like
it
that.
doesn't matter. You're
Yeah, it
arguing
does.
in really
That
bad
literally
faith
ca-
right now.
It's
Why
even possible that it came from a lab in China.
Wait, why does that? So why does it matter? Who decides
Because
that
it
matters?
could have even
Don't we
been,
go
it
based
could
on
have
the
been made from the
guidelines?
lab. It could have been made from the people themselves. It could have been made from the government.
That's a whole separate point. Again,
Yeah, but
you're not actually answering the
the
question
Chinese
directly.
government could have been a hold a place part in it. You don't know that.
Is this why you wanted me to go back to skits? Because you don't like
Yeah.
that I am able to challenge your ideas, your dumb fuckery? I mean, you're coming on here, dude. You're saying that you don't care,
Dude.
pretty much. Pretty much your entire argument this whole time has been, I don't care. That
Dude,
COVID is linked to
You're
hate
so
crimes
wrong.
raised
It's
against
not
Asian
doing it.
Americans.
Look, saying China virus does not cause any violence whatsoever. You're wrong 100%.
Okay, can you prove it, please?
How can you prove that you're right? Can you just, besides doing a study,
Yes.
show me?
Besides doing a study, tell you?
Your studies are bullshit, man. I've seen Tim Pool
This
completely
is-
owned you.
Oh man, this is your brain on anti-intellectualism. Without
What
doing a
is
study, tell me how you know.
Intellectualism. What is that? The fuck does that even mean? And you sound
All
like
right,
such
buddy.
a fucking know-it-all.
I'm not a know-it-all though. Part
Well,
of
you
my
act
whole-
like one.
part of my brain. You're literally so
This is why I
butthurt
said
right now.
When I
This is
said
why you wanted me to go back to skits
you
because you
wanna know
didn't
why
like
I
the
said
fact that I
that?
challenge your
Because you
dictionary.
suck at this. You're
Yeah.
such a fucking loser.
Oh, I'm
You're a
sucking so
hack.
hard right now, buddy. Oh man, I'm in
Yeah.
pain right now.
Yeah. Dude, you're losing thousands of
I
subscribers
don't
at least
care
once
about
a
any
week.
of this. You've lost the debate, my dude.
Well,
You don't know
well,
what you're talking about when you claim that it's.
You don't know what
I-
you're talking about.
I can
What
literally
the
send
fuck
you
does
this
it
right
even
here.
mean?
Here's one more study.
It's a
for you.
word. It doesn't incite anything.
Here's another study showing how more discrimination has been reported at the start of COVID-19. That was just because people knew it came from
Yeah, but
from
saying
China.
China virus
Even
isn't
that
going
led.
to increase it. That's ridiculous.
Still not true. I'm gonna. I mean, I already have this one study that I already sent you that showed
Yeah,
that showed that
BBC,
Trump's tweet.
BBC, these mainstream media hack sites.
You
Yeah,
can't just write it off as mainstream media, my dude.
it is.
Let's see. Trump's Chinese virus tweet helped fuel anti-Asian hate on Twitter. Yep. So this is where we're able to measure it more quantitatively, considering we're able to actually look at posts and quantify it. Let's see. In users adopting the Chinese virus hashtag, half did. Oh, fuck these people. Well, this one's from Forbes if you want to take a look at that one too. Yeah, dude, it's all over the place. Just go type in Chinese virus or China virus hate crime. COVID-19 fueling anti-Asian racism. Xenophobia worldwide.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
linked
guess
you
what?
the study that actually
Yeah, but that's
showed
normal.
quantitatively we saw an uptick when on Twitter after Trump's
Those are
tweet.
individuals. Those are individuals. They're making their own choices.
What does that
Trump
have to do with
didn't do anything to incite anything.
Okay. So I guess Trump is just this weak little bitch boy baby that has absolutely no influence over his followers. Man, I'm surprised
No,
to
I'm
see
not
a Trump
saying that at
supporter
all.
concede that.
I'm saying that these are individuals, fucking individuals.
And how do you know those
And they're
individuals?
doing their own decisions. They're making terrible
And maybe
decisions,
they
but they're making them themselves.
Oh, so now you admit that it's bad. That's good. Okay. So
No, I'm not saying that saying China virus is bad. I'm saying that they're the ones that are doing these hate crimes by themselves. They're
Why
doing
could
it
they have not
individually.
chosen to do that after they saw Trump's tweet? Why is it
What
that
does
after Trump's
fucking
Chinese
tweet have to do with it?
because
mean
Trump made a
tweets,
I'm
huh?
telling you right now because Trump made a tweet where he called COVID-19 the Chinese virus. And then
Good.
after that, we were able to see a correlation with hate speech directed towards Asians on Twitter directly afterwards.
You know, Hunter, you do actually make me laugh in some ways. Like, I've never liked you that much. I liked your content, but not that much. Like, I can't deal with you right now. I mean, seriously.
I know.
You
it hurts,
sound
man.
like you sound like a bad parody of a left-wing channel.
Okay, because I guess you just got BTFO'd on the debate. But either way, man, have
I
fun
didn't even-
clinging to your, like,
Well,
literally,
okay,
you're-
okay.
it's just,
Hey,
it's
if you look-
bizarre.
okay, Hunter's Soy Boy Vosh fans, he won't debate John Doyle. He will not debate
Not true,
Nick
actually. That one
Fuentes
fizzled
or
out.
actually just
I'm
Fleur,
still
because
gonna
those
debate Nick
guys
Fuentes.
actually are fucking capable of this, man. And because
Well, maybe
those
if
guys
you don't think you're
kick our
capable,
ass.
you shouldn't have come on here, my dude.
I came
It's
on
really
here
that
because
simple.
you're fucking
It's just
stupid.
Okay, listen. All I really want to say is this, okay, and then I'll let you go because I don't know,
All
maybe
right.
past your bedtime or whatever. But it's just really funny how the tables have completely flipped here. Like, for the longest time, we heard about SJWs being the snowflakes that want their own safe special definitions.
I don't want to. That's not what I
You
want.
want your own special
I'm not
definition
trying
because
to do
Big
it all.
Daddy.
I'm letting
No,
you speak. Okay.
you want your
Look,
big special definition
not
because
want that at
Big
all.
Daddy Trump called it Chinese virus. So you
I
want to
don't
call
care
it that,
about
even
that.
though that violate, like, even though that goes against the guidelines on how we now define diseases. You want your own snowflake definition, my dude, and it's a
That is
really
not
bad
true.
look.
We can call it whatever. We can call it COVID-19. We can call it China virus. We can call it coronavirus.
We should
can
call it
whatever.
COVID-19 since that's the
We
correct
can call it all
term,
three
and
of those
Chinese
things.
virus
Why
is a
not?
bunch of bullshit. But either way, man, have a good rest of your night, okay?
All right.
You want to go ahead and give a quick
Good
shout out
luck
to your channel?
checking on
You
your
wanna-
call me
Yo, do you
buddy
wanna-
Vosh.
Yo, do you
Yeah.
want? Okay, I guess not. I was gonna hang up on him, but okay. Please don't
Yeah,
tell me you're
do you-
gonna be one of these people too that's obsessed with calling it China virus for no reason.
No, listen. Do you know why Trump called it the Chinese virus?
Why?
Yes.
Can you tell me why?
Oh, yeah. I'll tell you why. Because the Chinese government was saying that it came from U.S. soldiers. So he wanted to lay it down. You know what? No, it came from China. That's why he says it's from China.
Come from. Let's see.
He was basically defending the military, which is something I'm sure you would be for, defending our troops
hold on.
and shit.
Hold on.
Okay.
When did Trump start using the Chinese virus thing? Because this, I'm pretty sure Trump was calling it Chinese virus before then.
I'm pretty sure he made it a point after the Chinese were putting out propaganda
So,
that it came from U.S.
so let's
soldiers.
just, you know what? I don't actually think you're giving me the accurate interpretation of events here.
Oh,
but
it's accurate.
but even so, but
anyways,
hold on. But even so,
why
it
does
doesn't.
matter that,
Wait, but can I hold on?
we
Hold
call
on,
it the
hold on. Wait,
Chinese
buddy. Wait. I'm trying to
And-
get my word in here.
All right, okay, go
You made your
ahead.
point. You said why Trump
Yes,
called it the
go ahead.
Chinese virus. That's
Go
fine.
ahead.
Even if that was true, it still doesn't matter. It doesn't make sense to call it
Yeah,
the
but-
Chinese virus.
It does make sense to call it the Chinese virus. It came from China. And
This
not
is
only
the
did it
same
come from
call with
China,
the
it
last
came
guy.
from a
You're doing the same
human-made
thing
virus
again.
From China.
So do you
It was
recognize
a
that the way?
human-made virus from China.
Do you
So we
recognize that?
better call it.
Hold on.
So you think
No,
that the
that's.
harm
Do you
that it
think
causes?
you're not
is-
even
is
letting me
worth
talk right
just
now? You're literally
completely-
just like rambling.
No, I'm getting.
How do
to
we
a point.
classify a
You want to
disease?
save somebody's feelings in order to obfuscate the actual fact that it came from China.
I'm not trying
Like
to
what,
obfuscate.
you think
Hold
that
on, wait,
it's hurt
stop.
some
I'm not
people
trying to. Hold on. You're saying a
Okay,
lot of
go ahead.
wrong things quickly. I'm not trying to obfuscate the fact that it came from China. Everybody
Okay.
knows it came from China. That's why the FBI was bracing for more hate crimes once COVID-19 was taking full swing here in the US because people knew it came from China. So one, no
Yeah,
one's.
So why does
I'm
it
not
matter that we call it the
obfuscating
Chinese
away
virus,
from
though?
anything. It does
People-
come from
people
China.
already
Fine.
know it comes from China. Then
Right.
why not call it the Chinese virus?
Because that
from
further
China.
stigmatizes Chinese
Stigmatizes.
people, and we see a direct
No,
correlation with anti-Asian sentiments, hate crimes,
Well,
and
no.
tweets
The
when we refer
they
to it
come
that way.
because we're funding the police.
So let's go back a little bit for a second
Like
here.
New York. for
First and
example.
foremost,
They're
do
beating
you
the shit out of Asians because the police are completely defunded and kneecapped. So
this
now
is
you have
such a
all these people
massive pivot. It's not even funny.
It's not
I
a
just told you about
massive
the
pivot. You're
FBI.
saying
Usually they're the
people
ones that look
are
into hate crimes.
committing anti-Asian.
So how do you think we
assault.
classify
It's-
diseases?
It's not
Don't
just
we go
anti-Asian, it's anti-everybody. Assaults are up. Like violence is up in the country.
That's true.
Like,
but there's
all
very
around.
specific violence directed at Asian Americans. Some of
Yeah,
it being
but it's
fueled
because
by
they're there,
COVID-19
because,
and
You know,
calling it
they're
the China
easy
virus.
targets because they don't fight back.
I'm trying to what, that has nothing to do with anything
It does,
and
it
is
does
not
have a
true
lot to do with it.
and is arguably racist to just assume
just-
that people aren't going to fight back. What the fuck is wrong with you? Now let's
What?
back up for a second.
No, let's back up.
When
for a
we're
second.
talking about-
exactly,
When we talk
exactly.
about
You're
how we
saying that,
All right, I'm going to have to
that
mute you if
black
you don't let
people
me
can
talk, buddy.
say
It's my
whatever
channel. I'm
Trump
going to
says.
have to mute
Oh
you.
my God, it's the Chinese virus. So yeah, let me.
All right, I'm going to
go
mute you
attack
while I say
Chinese
my
people.
point, okay? So are we able to recognize then how we classify viruses? Do we recognize that the way we classify viruses, we go by a set of guidelines and those guidelines can change? Do we recognize that? You're unmuted now.
We classify viruses. Who is we?
Well, the World Health Organization?
Oh, World Health Organization, pretty much China's stooge. Okay. So,
No, actually,
yeah,
this is, hold on,
we're gonna,
let's see.
Trust the World Health Organization.
No, it's not just
who
the
is
World
so
Health
far up
Organization.
China's ass. They probably
Huh?
fucking. They're probably.
So
in there with
diseases are often
fucking
given
Hunter
common
Biden.
names by people outside of the scientific community. Once disease names are established in common usage through the internet, they're difficult to change. Okay, hold on. They talk about the organization. Who developed the best practices for naming new human infectious diseases in close collaboration with the World Organization for
you're really good
Animal
at reading
Health.
Studies.
I'm not reading a study. I'm
You're
literally
so good at
explaining.
reading
I'm
those articles.
extrapolating this.
go
You
to-
are
go
exact.
to
Are you the same guy?
MyRight.com,
Wait, are you the same
you
guy?
read that study off, and that makes you right, right?
Wait a minute. Are you the
Even though
same
it
guy I
doesn't
talked to
matter
earlier?
at all.
Are you the
People
same
call
guy
it
I
the
talked to
Chinese
earlier?
virus. It's from China. Get over it.
Are you the same guy I talked to earlier?
Nah, I'm a different guy.
Okay. So if I could just really quickly read through this. All I'm
Okay.
trying to say is that it's not just the WHO. It was the WHO working in collaboration with the World Organization for Animal Health
Right, but
and the
you're
Food and
appealing to
Agriculture
authority. It doesn't
Organization
matter.
of the
It's called
United
COVID,
Nations,
it's called
and in
Chinese
consultation with
virus. It does
experts
not
leading
matter.
the International Classification
It's
of
from China.
Diseases. So it's not only
Okay,
WHO,
who cares?
it's the
Who cares?
International
First of all, Chinese
Classification of
virus, it doesn't matter.
Diseases.
And can you tell me like a bunch of like hate crimes committed by Trump supporters?
No, not yet. First, we're going to talk
No,
about
not
this.
yet. Oh, not yet. It's
First, we're
coming,
gonna
though.
go.
It's coming.
No, first
mean,
we're
it's
gonna
so
actually
harmful,
talk
right?
about this. Okay, so do you
know-
recognize
you know
then that we
people
have to
aren't
trust
coming to the
these
United
organizations on how
You
we
know,
classify
black community
diseases? Do you
people say-
recognize that?
And you're still gonna say it's Trump's fault?
All right, hold on. I'm gonna have to mute you again if you keep going, buddy. Just
Okay,
wait
yeah.
a minute, please. I'm trying to ask you a question sincerely.
Yes.
Do you acknowledge that these organizations have historically been what we rely on to accurately define certain diseases? We're not just talking about the WHO, we're talking about the International Classification of Diseases. This was in 2015 when these guidelines changed on how we want to classify diseases. Do you not
Okay.
recognize that? Do you
Well, I don't care about some. Oh, we're gonna go to some WHO organization or some other.
no,
It doesn't even
ICD,
matter, dude.
International
You can call it
Classification of
COVID-19 all
Diseases,
you want.
Food and
I could
Agriculture
call it
Organization.
China virus. I mean, we.
But it
we
makes no
changed the way
sense.
we
You're
call
being just like
women
the other
women,
guy.
You know, like anyone who calls himself a woman now is a woman. Now, have we been doing that forever?
You're
Or is
exactly
that a
like
new
the other
thing?
guy. It's not even funny right now, dude. Are you
Is that-
serious?
have we been
So you
doing
want
that
your own
forever? Is that a
special
new
Wait,
thing?
so can I just get a concession then that you want your own special snowflake definition? Can I
No,
just-
no, you want your own. You want to stop other people from using language.
No,
I
wrong.
don't give a shit what
Nope,
you call it.
wrong.
Like I said,
You just
call it
completely
COVID-19,
pivoted.
and I'll
I'm not
call it
trying to
Chinese
stop
virus.
anyone.
You're
You're
the one
arguing
who's
that we
trying to be
should call it
authoritarian.
this. You're the one making a
You're the
prescription
one who's trying to
argument,
be the
prescriptive argument
authoritarian.
here.
And saying, "Oh, you can't call it the Chinese virus."
Did I say in this discussion that you cannot call it the Chinese virus?
Yeah. Well, you said, "Oh, the implications if we do call it the Chinese
I do think
virus."
that I
Like,
think that you shouldn't. But yeah, we have free speech,
Okay.
buddy. You can
Well,
say
you think
whatever
we
you want at
shouldn't,
the
and I
end of
don't
the
give a
day.
what you
I'm
think, so
arguing
I'm
that
gonna
you
call it
shouldn't say it
virus.
though because I think that
How
it
does that
leads to
sound?
harm. So you want your own special
Leads to harm.
snowflake definition,
What
right?
harm? What
We're
harm
not getting to
does it
that
lead
first.
to?
First, we're going to acknowledge the way that we classify diseases. Okay?
Well, I'm acknowledging any of that shit. It doesn't matter.
But then how do you understand?
Like, we
how do you
acknowledge
understand
women,
diseases then?
uh,
How do you know?
X chromosomes, but it doesn't matter to
This
you
is
guys.
irrelevant in a
You want
pivot.
your
How
own
do we
special
determine
snowflake
diseases? How do we
definition for
define
women.
them?
So I don't give a shit about naming viruses.
So you don't
It comes
care
from
about.
China, it's a
Wait,
Chinese
so
virus.
so let me get this straight. You don't care about
No,
how we name viruses,
No.
but we should
don't
call it
care.
the Chinese virus.
when I say Chinese virus, everybody knows it's COVID-19. It has the exact utility I want it to.
Then why wouldn't you just say COVID-19?
Because I don't want to. Because I'll just say Chinese virus.
Why?
Why do you want to? Why do you want to control my speech?
I'm not
Hunter?
trying to control your speech.
Why
I'm
do you wanna
asking
be
you
an
why you feel the
authoritarian
need to
press?
use a name that isn't even technically correct and leads
It
to
is
harm.
technically correct. It's from China. It couldn't be more technically correct if you tried. It's from China.
But that's
Is
no.
it
But
not?
see,
Is it not from China? Am I missing something?
It also causes a cough.
Because if I was lying,
You
and it
realize
wasn't
that it
from China,
causes a cough.
yeah,
That's
you'd say
more
it's
accurate
xenophobic,
for
but
how we
it
actually
literally
classify
is from
diseases
China.
now. It doesn't matter if it came from China. That's not how we
Yes, it
define
does.
diseases
It
anymore.
matters that it came from China and that the Chinese government created it in a lab. That matters.
So
That matters a
basically,
lot.
you want your own special
That
snowflake
matters a lot.
definition. We don't
It actually
define
matters a
diseases
lot
that way.
more
This
that it
isn't how
came
we
from
classify
China
diseases
than
anymore.
us saying, "Oh no, we can't say it's from China. That'll cause harm."
All right, you're getting muted again. So this is not how we classify diseases. We don't classify diseases based on location. Since 2015, these guidelines have changed. The reason they changed is because it was recognized that certain disease names can lead to actual harm. They even condemned the use of names like swine flu, Middle East respiratory syndrome, etc. So we changed the way we classify diseases. You saying, well, it came from China, so we should call it the China virus, is factually incorrect because it's irrelevant where it came from. It doesn't matter. That's not how we define the disease. You're now unmuted.
You keep going back to we. Who's we? We is just, I read
The
it in an
institutions that
article,
we
an article
rely
said we
on
shouldn't
to
say it's from
accurately
China, so
define
I'm just gonna
these.
go with that.
The International Classification of Diseases. Don't okay, if
Well,
you're
I'm
not
not the international classification.
all right, then
of
I better
But
never
dude,
hear you
you know
ever
what I
talk
mean?
about gender dysphoria or gender identity disorder ever, because that's in
Who?
this. You were just
What do you
saying
mean?
XX chromosomes, trying to pivot to trans stuff. The International Classification of Diseases
Not
goes
pivoting,
into
it's
what
right
gender
on target.
identity disorder is. Are you
Same
going to
thing.
describe
It's
that
showing
also?
your hypocrisy.
Where's my hypocrisy? Please explain.
It's because you're saying, you want it your own special snowflake way
You do.
of defining things.
You
Yet
do.
You guys, the left, you're literally changing the meaning of woman to anyone who says they're a woman.
Dude, these guidelines
Dude,
came
yeah,
from 2015.
exactly correct.
These guidelines came
Dude.
from 2015.
2015 and?
That's how we define diseases
keep
now.
going back. That's how we define it.
Yes, this is how like
well, I can define it any way I want. And so can millions of other people.
All right,
call
let
it
me
the
explain.
Chinese
When I
virus.
say
So
we, I'm referring
it
to
has
the
same
medical.
utility.
All right, when I say we, I'm usually referring to like the medical consensus or the definitional consensus on how we define
Okay,
these
so if I was
diseases.
writing a textbook,
So when they
I would
develop,
call it COVID-19, right? But if I'm just shooting the shit with somebody, I'm going to call it the Chinese virus. Is that okay with you?
I mean, I don't really care what you say in your private time, but
Okay,
I'm
there you
arguing
go.
that it.
That's
But
all
you're
I'm
the one
saying.
who's saying it should be called the Chinese virus. Am I wrong?
No. I said it is the Chinese virus because that's what I say. That's how I'm using it.
So
You
again,
understand?
you're going
I'm
back.
not-
Yeah.
I
So
don't
you,
wanna force
I got
you
it, man.
to
All right. Well,
say,
hey,
yeah.
I appreciate the conversation. It's very obvious that you have your own special snowflake definition. So I would just
your own
stick with that. You know,
snowflake,
keep
definition
jerking
of
it
a
off to
woman
Trump
is
porn.
anyone
Keep
who calls
you know,
himself a woman,
keep
right?
on
Right,
just
Hunter?
shilling for Trump,
Keep
I
on
guess,
keeping
because
on,
Big Daddy
man.
Trump called it
Yeah, get
called it the
wrecked.
Chinese virus.
Get wrecked real quick.
Yep. All right, buddy.
Sounds
Yeah,
good,
yeah.
buddy.
See you later. Get banned. All right, for being a cuck.
All right, buddy.
They're all the same. Was that the same guy? These guys are like fucking clones. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click the bell so you get notified when I drop a new video.